Masih banyak masyarakat Indonesia yang belum mengenal apa itu refugi. Refugi adalah sekelompok orang yang mengungsi, pergi menyelamatkan diri mereka melewati batas negara karena adanya konflik di negara asal mereka. Faktanya tidak ada refugi yang ingin tinggal di Indonesia. Yang ada, mereka terjebak di Indonesia. Karena Indonesia adalah negara transit untuk menuju negara ketiga, yang kebanyakan adalah Australia. Mereka berasal dari negara Afghanistan, Iran, Irak, Bangladesh, Myanmar, dan beberapa negara di Asia. Kami menemui Bakir dan Mosgan, dua orang refugi yang tinggal di Indonesia. Bakir adalah refugi yang pergi dari negara Afghanistan. Sedangkan Mosgan adalah refugi yang berasal dari Iran.
So Bakir, could you tell us why you had to leave your country and come here to Indonesia?
Because of the situation that we had in Pakistan over Hazara ethnicity. Basically, the situation in Pakistan is very critical for our ethnicity, and especially provided we are a minority in Pakistan. In terms of population, we are around 700,000 people, and because of the religious issues, we were persecuted. We were going through genocide and systematic discrimination that was going on since 1997, 1995, and every day it was going worse. It was getting worse for our people, and there was no day that we were living without hearing the news that. There was no any incident on Hazara ethnicity. Either incident was in terms of target killing, in terms of bomb blast, in terms of open fire in a community.
Refugi yang tinggal di Indonesia memiliki banyak sekali kendala. Salah satu kendala yang mereka hadapi adalah identitas.
And what kind of, because there's no identity and you don't have the basic education, basic health services maybe, what are you facing and other refugees here in Asia? What problems do you have?
Well, imagine on a normal day, how many times do you have to use your ID? If you want to create a bank account, you need your ID. If you want to register your SIM card, you need to have an ID. If you want to register at an institute to learn something, again, you need your ID. So basically, going from very bottom, which is registering a SIM card, you can't access that until going up to higher education, to have medical care. In all of that, you need to have identity in order to get insurance services, in order to get anything, in order to get a license or whatever you can imagine. And this country is pretty obsessed with ID cards, I can say that. So it is very, very challenging.
Did you have any problems when you first arrived in Indonesia?
What I found difficult was the acceptance, where people found out that I was a refugee. Like, there's so many incredible people where I introduced myself as a refugee, they understand it and they accept it and they listen to me and they are like, why are you here? And I explain everything and they get it.
Do you think people is it because it's a lack of education?
I would name it as a lack of education and lack of awareness, because people in Indonesia, most of the people that I have come across, especially Indonesians, they have no idea about refugees, and even they don't know that how many refugees exist. When I share to them there is around 14,000 refugees, more or less, in Indonesia, they get surprised that, wow, that is a big community and we didn't know that. For me, I don't have any future at all. I can't plan for my future. I do plan for my next week, but I'm not able to plan for my next 5 years. Because I don't know whether I will be sent back to my home country, or whether I will be sent to the next country, or whether I will be in this country.
Indonesia sampai saat ini belum memiliki regulasi untuk mengatur pengungsi. Namun, berdasarkan kebijakan regulasi PP 125, Direktorat Jenderal Imigrasi bertugas untuk menjaga keamanan mereka. Tetapi, tidak mengurusi keberadaan dan kebutuhan mereka berangkat ke negara ketiga.
Jadi apa saja sih yang sudah dilakukan oleh pemerintah Indonesia untuk menangani permasalahan pengungsi? Terutama karena Indonesia sendiri sebagai salah satu negara anggota PBB juga.
Jadi yang dilakukan pemerintah Indonesia adalah sebelum lahirnya PP 125 dan sesudah. Sebelum lahirnya PP 125, Indonesia itu telah melakukan bantuan kemanusiaan berupa perlindungan, tempat shelter, baik rumah penampungan sementara atau community house, termasuk rumah detensi migrasi. Kemudian memberikan bantuan standar kebutuhan, contohnya apa? Listrik, air, itu bisa diberikan pemerintah Indonesia. Setelah PP 125, baru kemudian secara jelas dan tegas, pemerintah mengatur siapa mengerjakan apa, dan koordinasinya seperti apa. Jadi yang diatur adalah bagaimana bukan penanganan pengungsinya, sehingga mereka supaya bisa dapat ke negara ketiga, tapi lebih kepada supaya tanggung jawab itu tidak di satu pihak saja. Setelah ada PP 125 baru jelas, oh imigrasi ternyata tugasnya hanya menampung. Walaupun secara regulasi anggaran itu hanya boleh untuk WNI. Pertanggungjawabannya nanti bagaimana. Tapi terlepas dari itu, pemerintah tetap melaksanakan itu atas dasar kemanusiaan.
What have you been doing specifically in your own way to maybe help other people who are also having these same kind of difficulties?
So about 4 years ago, I started interpreting at legal aid sessions for refugees. So what I did was I applied as an interpreter and I went and sat and helped translate their conversations. And I did that for like 3 years and met a lot of lawyers, learned a lot while the process about it. So I could help other people. Without help of lawyers now, I can actually help other people to further process because they trained us in these 3 years as a paralegal. So we understand the process and how it works. But that and sitting at those sessions got me in touch with lots of other refugees who spoke my language, and because of English so many other people got in touch from different countries, and every time they had a question they would contact me or other interpreters to ask the lawyers or just give them information off of our knowledge. So me and one of my friends, Jafar, who is now resettled in Canada, we were thinking of creating a website to put all of this information that people keep asking in one platform and translate it into as many languages as we could for them. RAIC, which is Refugees and Asylum Seekers Information Center.
When I was planning, I was working along with all these problems and issues. It was getting heavier on me, and then I realized that I might do a project for this. And when I was putting the names together, the name came up in my mind, Help for Refugees. If you see help itself is an acronym. H stands for health, E stands for education, and LP stands for learning program. So in health, we mainly aim and our objective is to, first of all, the basic objective is to give some health awareness in refugee communities so they can avoid health issues in advance. And in education, we are giving education. We are giving primary education to refugees, and also learning English. We are equipping them with English literacy so they can get easily, integrated in the Indonesian community or in community after the resettlement.
Is there any chance that you can, return to your country of origin? And if there were, would you go back?
This is something that I can say I think about every single day. Every single day when I face difficulties, I wish I could go back. And I looked through a lot of different options if I could go back. But it's just not possible. If it was possible, I would not waste even one day of my life.
What Indonesian people can do, they can go, they can find people, and they can, first of all, they can create the bond, and second, they can help them and support them in any way that they can. There are a lot of examples from Indonesian community who have accepted refugee people and welcomed them to their home and have given them place, have given them support, financial assistance, so they can integrate in the community, and also they can stay in this transit duration.
What are your hopes for the future?
My hope is that a lot of refugees can get resettled. I mean, all of us can get resettled and go somewhere where we can have access to rights, or even having a bigger hope that Indonesia might open up into signing the convention, maybe. I know it won't happen. But I mean, giving rights to refugees basically by raising a lot of awareness. When people know about the situation and have the understanding, I'm sure that they would be kind enough to say yes to this.
Is there anything that you'd like to say, any message you have for Indonesian people?
Yes, I would like to say something about the IDs. I would like to say that be very, very grateful of the KTP that you have, because if you don't have that, you can't do anything. And be grateful of every single job that you have, or any opportunity that you get to work or educate yourself or do something to give back to your country, to give back to your life, to your family. Just be very grateful for that, because as refugees, I mean, before I become a refugee, I took that for granted. When I became a refugee and I lost that, I feel that pressure in my life.
Well, that is a very big There is a very big and challenging question. I think the only thing that I would demand for, and I would request for all the people in all the audience, is when you listen to this interview, whatever have come up and developed in your heart, try to hear that. Try to, from this interview, don't only see it as an Indonesian person who is indulged with all these policies, with all these rules and regulations and laws. Try to see it from a human perspective. Try to see why we are here. Try to reach out to us. Try to take some initiatives to do something for the benefit, not only for us, but also for your own community, Indonesian community, because I can see Indonesian community also has huge number of people who are in need of help. And I'm not saying that come and help us only. Come and help everyone who need help.
Oleh karena itu, sebagai masyarakat Indonesia, kita harus mampu menjaga perdamaian dan keutuhan negara kita. Jangan sampai kita terpecah belah dan harus mengalami hal-hal seperti yang dialami para refugi yang harus meninggalkan negara mereka.